Yeah. So I'm back. I know I left off last entry with a rather negative and very scuffed farewell, but I'm back with Garten of Banban 3, so buckle in for what may be the best entry yet. Which may also make this the worst entry yet. Playing this game was a weird experience. On the one hand, my head was pounding and parts of the game just made absolutely no sense. On the other, James was there, which makes it always a great time.
There is the spider. Please eat me, spider. I want to be eaten, spider. The spider
I think I want
did
to be
not
eaten by a
eat
spider.
me.
Why did the spider not eat me?
Maybe it's because I smell very bad.
Not
Good job.
true. You smell like a woman.
As I said, very bad.
And there were some good parts I really genuinely liked. But this game is so weird. At some points it raises the stakes, making me genuinely hopeful as my excitement for the game begins to soar. Until the game takes a full 180 and makes me go, what the actual hell is going on? Or the opposite, where the game is so bad and frustrating before taking a full 180 turn and make me ask, what the hell is going on? But in a good way. The experience of this game is one of constant questioning of what's happening. Sometimes it's a good what's happening. As I said in the first video, I kinda love it when this game decides to take an LSD trip straight into nonsense.
To live this simple life, I completely brainless jellyfish. Just munching on shrimp and avoiding getting eaten by turtles.
Can you munch? Like, genuine question, dude. Do you have the physical ability to munch?
Do any jellyfish have the ability to munch shrimp?
To be honest, that's where this game shines in my opinion. However, as many times as I said WTF for a good reason, I also found myself saying WTF for a bad reason. This game showed me the, well, not soaring, but at least low flying highs the Euphoric Brothers could produce, the ground level mids, and the Mariana Trench lows. And whenever I would just come out of a great cutscene, I often found that these good moments were extremely hampered by an instant turn into tedious gameplay.
Speaking of which,
Oof, okay, so the gameplay of this game. I'm gonna split this into two separate parts, that being the tedious parts and the good parts. More often than not, I found this game's gameplay to be just tedious. Not bad per se, but the aggressive mediocrity and tediness of this game just was its main downfall. A perfect example of this is the Nambalina surgery. It's a simple idea on the surface. Banban tasks the player with finishing a surgery in order to comfort the lonely Nab-Nab. For some reason, so Banban basically just claims that Nab-Nab is hunting and we can't continue on our journey at this point because it's too dangerous. But Nab-Nab only kills you in his room, which we are able to walk straight past.
Head to the medical section and we will talk there.
why die?
Not in there, amigo.
You know, jump scares are a lot more effective when you can actually see them.
And when we make Nab-Nab his wife, we don't continue onto the room where Nab-Nab was hunting in. So I don't know why we needed to do this, but I guess we should just trust Banban because he's a good guy. Wait, no, we know he's evil at this point. Why are we doing this? The surgery consists in mixing Givanium formulas and inserting them into Nabalina. You must also use some tongs to change the color of these power cylinders for some reason and somehow. And you must also use the drone in order to hit buttons on the wall. For reasons. They don't even try and justify this one. They just say you gotta hit the buttons. No reason given. Now, the first and second cycle are not awful. It's a semi-enjoyable puzzle, and the music really installs a sense of panic in the player. Oh, dang. Oh, shoot. I'm so good at this game, guys. But when you get to like the third cycle of this puzzle, The sense of panic is just like really deeply installed, so you're just very like panicky and fidgety and annoyed that you have to keep doing this even though you've already done it twice before and it's the exact same puzzle. There's no change to the puzzle. After you've done the first stage, you've done the next 900. This is the issue, not that the puzzles are necessarily wholly bad, just that they're so long and drawn out that they render all enjoyment one could have gotten out of them completely void, as you have to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. While Nabalina's surgery was rather middling in enjoyment levels, the, turtle boss fight, I guess, is a perfect example of the worst of Banban. The excruciating amount of doors you have to suffer through just to get to the boss fight is bad enough. I'm not kidding. There is like an absurd amount of doors between the sections. Once you've actually moved past the painful hallway, you come face to face with this Cerberus looking whippersnapper.
Yeah. What is that? Okay.
What the heck?
I guess you weren't supposed to go in there.
What
is that? Is that case 12G?
I don't know. I'm so confused. Basically, you have to hit buttons at the top of gates with your drones. If you stay in the middle platform, I don't know what to call him. I'm going to call him Charles and Carlos, respectively. So Charles has a massive tongue and will crush you with it, for some reason. Who knows why? I'm not going to lie, none of this makes sense. If you go to either of the other two platforms, Carlos will send a water balloon or something at you. Again, I don't know why any of this happens. Anyways, you have to hit buttons and get rockets to place on Charles' tongue. And you do this 4 times, only to be rewarded with this death animation.
Dude, you did that on purpose.
This fight is boring, far too long, tedious, overall badly designed, weirdly placed, completely random, stinky, poorly animated, not properly explained, confusing, the length of a short movie, pointless, just like this description. Now, I want to start talking about the good. But before we talk about the good, I want to talk about the bad. At the tail end of the game, Stinger Flynn sets an evil Banban on the player, and we get to ride on his back as we participate in a race with his lovely, beautiful, and amazing wife Opila Bird. The quirk of the race is that when the light is blue, I have to beat the patient Opila Bird. When the light is pink, I have to graciously allow the attractive Opila Bird to win, like the queen she is. I mean, I don't want to be Opila Bird's husband. Trust me. Please.
I love how you keep talking about her like you're the bird and not a person riding on the bird. You're like, just leaving my wife behind.
No, that's my wife, bro. This has nothing to do with me being on the bird.
Anyways, this race is fine. It's fun. I love riding on the back of the cake birds. By the way, both their names mean cake and Basque and Spanish respectively. However, you have to do this for so long. That's really the downfall of the game. If it had just been a half hour shorter, it would have made the game so much better. Instead, I have to sit here repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And it's not even as a punishment. If you play the game perfectly, you will still have to be constantly repeating yourself as the puzzles give no variation in what they're doing. Playing the game as it's meant to play still results in an exhausting number of repeated steps. Why are we having to do this? Tell me why. Tell me why! However, through the confusing elevator controls,
I am still very confused.
Look at the map.
Oh.
What?
That is a very stupid design.
the tedious Banban stand-in,
Let's see.
Three stones with one bird.
I don't know if she's actually talking to us. She just said,
Hand over your pancreas. 3 stones with one bird. 3 stones with one bird. Three stones with one
I'm gonna hurt this robot.
Three stones with one Ready for the bandit. Three stones with one Ready for the bandit. Ready for the bandit. Three stones with one Ready for the bandit. Three stones with one Hand over your hand.
Through the confusing Stinger Flynn possessions,
So what was the point of that whole thing with the jellyfish?
Great question. I guess we'll figure that out by the end of the game.
And also, why are you a jellyfish?
Great question. Hopefully we'll figure that out by the end of the game.
through the poorly loading lobby,
Oh boy.
There is light artifacting coming through the walls. I don't think this
Shush.
game was very well designed.
What? The graphics are amazing.
I'm pretty
makes you
sure
think
I
that?
can see Opila bird in the distance.
Yummy.
and through the LSD trips of visions,
Well, of course. It's the beach mouse from that's not how water works.
You'd be surprised.
I found a single puzzle I have nothing bad to say about. That is nothing to say badly about the puzzle itself specifically.
Wouldn't it be
Finally,
epic if the game
you're
just
waking
ended
up.
there?
I was getting really bored, and that fellow over there isn't much of a talker.
After one of the LSD trips Stinger Flint gives you, the player wakes up with the table with a freaking useless Bambolina and a blackout drunk Namdab who has no collision for some reason.
Hey, Bambolina? This guy doesn't have any collision. Homie, that neck. Oh, homie. Homie, you gotta get that. Homie, you gotta get that checked.
Quick, sit down. He's coming.
I know, I'm sitting down.
The justification for this situation that Jumbo Josh has captured us three and believes us to be dolls, so we must find a way to escape while quickly making sure the room is exactly as Jumbo Josh left it when he comes to check in on us.
Quick, sit down. He's coming.
We know. Also, why am I feel like I'm not supposed to be this short.
The puzzle is solved by using orange blocks to stack and use to parkour around to find more blocks and eventually unlock the door. I quite like the idea. It takes ideas that the game has set up and executes them into an interesting puzzle. It also doesn't treat the player like an idiot, as a misplaced drone will also take off Jumbo Josh. This puzzle is genuinely competent and heck it, pretty fun. Anyways, the setup for this game puzzle makes absolutely no sense. Last we saw Jumbo Josh and Bambolina, they were both chasing us. Why does Josh think Bambolina is a doll? He's seen her moving, and she has a moving idle animation during this entire sequence. What on earth is happening? Next, why is Nabnab here? Why is he just like asleep or dead or something? Is he even dead? If I didn't know any better, I would say he's sad and lonely. But we solved that issue. And if Nabolina was supposed to die in the earlier scene, we know this isn't how Nabnab acts when he's, sad and alone. He becomes really aggressive then.
Hey, it's Editing AK here, just to clarify something. Nabolina doesn't die. The spider I thought was Nabnab crawling back into his room was actually Nabolina. They should both still be alive, which does make this entire thing more confusing, but I would like to correct my mistake. Nabolina doesn't die, but I guess she could have dumped him, and that might be why he's sad. But again, none of this really makes any sense. And the last time we saw this Bitcoin investor, she was trying to kill us. She should recognize us. We haven't changed appearances. So why is she so peaceful when she seems to think we are the student? Why is she not out for blood anymore like she was previously? It doesn't make any sense. I can only think that maybe we have changed appearances and that will be a plot point at some point in the future. But yeah, everything in this game doesn't make any sense at all remotely. Every time this game does something remotely competent, it instantly falls apart when you think about it for more than 5 seconds.
Like, I'm kind of lost.
I swear I followed this game's lore up until now. While it wasn't particularly intriguing or logical, it did make sense. It was, if nothing else, comprehensible. This game's addition to the lore broke me. none of the characters act in character at all. As I pointed out in the previous sections, Banbalina and Nabnab just kinda do things for reasons which are unclear. Banban near entirely pieces out of the story to transform into a monster to try and eat your pancreas, which explains the original quote in the first game, but does not line up with anything else we've seen. For some reason, he's just monstrously evil now. For some reason. Stinger Flynn was set up to be a greater evil after Banban 2, but it turns out he's just real chill and just wants to go see the sun. Honestly, I want to help this man. So is the big bad of this game this big old guy who appeared once and then in like a Stinger Flynn hallucination? Speaking of these hallucinations, I'm so confused by them. The car scene puts you in a car driving with Stinger Flynn, Opila Bird, Banban, a Captain Fidels, and Nabnab running behind us. I don't know what this scene is even supposed to mean, but I love it because honestly I love seeing these characters interact. I love Opila Bird, and Stinger Flynn is a competently written and acted character, but I don't understand this Captain Fiddles. Opila, Flynn, Banban, and Nabnab are all specific characters with specific motivations. The player fits in this category as well. Sure, Opila, Nabnab, and Banban have switched gender counterparts, but these characters are distinct and known as well. We have never met a Captain Fiddles. Since everyone else is defined, it would make sense that this Captain Fiddles has appeared before, and is somehow connected to a human or just at all relevant. But as far as I can tell, he's not. What's weirder is you could have just put Slow Celine in here, who has appeared before, is verbal, literally shows up in the game. Why isn't she here? Of course, I could be reading way too far into this. After all, it's just one of Stinger Flynn's tricks, but I have to assume this has some relevance to something, or what's the point of it? If these really are meaningless cutscenes, why are they here? And why are they the most enjoyable part of the game? The lore has become nonsensible. It does not make any sense whatsoever, and I can't even fathom this massive a lore. Also, at points you get to play as Stinger Flynn, but like small and do really frustrating puzzles.
Okay, I can't tell if it's the controls or if you actually have the reaction time of.
No, it's the controls.
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
But you meet Slow Celine, and she says, "We have to hide and we are not like the others." Is this a prequel? Are we Stinger Flynn in these visions? Are we ourselves changing? I don't understand. I doubt it's a prequel because Banban has escaped and so it seems has Slow Celine. Furthermore, we know Flynn was likely big from even early on and was working with the staff, so he wouldn't have just become conscious after the collapse, which was hinted at last game and mentioned in this one. But a prequel is the only thing that makes sense, as these visions follow a set timeline within their two sequences and aren't a permanent change to the player. So I don't know what else it could be. And the positioning of Slow Celine implies that this directly takes place after what we did in the last game. Too long, didn't TLDR, this game makes no sense whatsoever, I do not understand what's going on. Also, what the hell was going on with Charles and Carlos? How do they even remotely fit?
This game is the worst in the series yet, in my opinion. When it comes to any form of media, there are three categories: the good, the bad, and the funny. The good is simple. It's mechanically, lore-rifically, and graphically sound. The funny is so bad it's good. Crash and Run or Bro Falls, an abyss of void which leaves your chest weak with laughter. And pneumonia. Bad games are mid-tier. They're not bad enough to procure a hilarious response, not good enough to produce a serotonin release. These games are boring. And that's the worst thing a piece of media can be. Safe and bland games are the worst types of games. It's one thing to be low-key, but it's another to be mind-numbingly competent, but not great, or incompetent, but just annoyingly. That's what Banban 3 is. It swings between boring competence and annoying incompetence. There are some high points, but they are so weird and disjointed that they couldn't really mean anything significant or improve the game. It was overall just mostly barely competent or incompetent in a way that it just kind of annoyed me. This game didn't do anything for me. It was just there. It's just a pit voidless of charisma. Will we be here next time? I don't know,
I'm kind of tempted to throw in the towel here, honestly. But until next time, go touch some grass.
Yo, what's up, homeboy?
Just you and me, baby.
Let's go. I think your parents are dead, by the way.